Okay, a few more videos then I think I'm going to go off and enjoy my Sunday. So we're at fractions now. Fractions. Let's have a good. So as before, just read the question, pause the video, and then see how, if you think you want some help, watch the video. If you think, right, I'll just try it myself, and then see how I do it and compare the answers. That's absolutely fine. Don't feel you've got to sit and listen to me drone on about fractions. So they're reading a book, the fancy book and the regular book. John thinks he's read more of the book than Marie. Is he correct? So we need to have, a common way of comparing them. This right now we get apples and oranges. We need to get it into the same thing. So what you could do is turn both of them into a fraction, into a decimal, or just change one. So I think the best thing to do is turn this into a percentage. So we've got Marie, 62%, and John, so that's 210 out of 350. If I then times that by 100, I am going to get my percentage. So that's 60%. You could have done it, without a calculator. You could have done, dividing the top and bottom by 10. Yeah, just simplifying it down all the way, you'd be absolutely fine. Yeah, what would be next? 7. Yeah, so you could have absolutely done that. That'd be fine. But yeah, for this, you're looking at trying to get and I think the percentage one's the best one. I think that's something people don't quite appreciate is that percentage is just the ratio of two things, times by 100. So when you get your test scores back, sometimes a lot of kids will say, well, what's my percentage? And, if you've got 32 out of 45, all you need to do is times that by 100 and you've got your percentage. So it's just the ratio of two things, something out of something else, and then timesing it by 100. Is that timesing by 100, which puts it into your percentage. So that's the first one compared. We just have to, we would obviously say, John thinks he is correct. So is John correct? No, John is not correct because 60 is less than 62. So make sure you do answer the question. So no, he's not. Just write that. No, he's not correct. 60% is less than 62%. Very close though. Close call. Again, have we read? So for this one, how much pizza did he eat? Okay, so Brian's eaten 5/7. We've got 5/7 of pizza. And onto that, Jamie's eaten 2/3 of pizza. And then that has to then equal 2 wholes, which would be like 2/1, effectively. So that plus something is going to give me 2/1. I'll just write 2. So to add fractions, we do smile and a cross. And what that means is we times the 7 and the 3. The smile is where we times those two numbers, and the cross is where I times these two numbers, and my answer goes up in the direction of the arrow. So I've got 15 up here and 14 up. So I've got 29 out of 21, which is the same as 1 and 8, 21. So smile and a cross. They've eaten 1 and 8 out of 21. So what does that really mean? What does that look like? So they've eaten one whole pizza, and then on the other pizza, they have eaten 8 of the 21 slices. So it's 21 slices here, they've eaten 8. So that means the remainder out of 21 slices, how much is left if they've eaten 8 of them? That's going to be 13, isn't it? So the final answer would be 13/21. I don't know why that says 28 for that answer. I'm not sure where they're getting that number from. I would be saying it's in 21s. I'm just going to double check that. Yep, can't see a problem with that. So 13/21s is all that's left, or yeah, 21st, so we've got, because we've eaten a whole pizza and 8 of those 21 slices, which is that little bit in there. And with this, okay, again, have a little read. This is more of a probability question. I'm going to leave that for the probability section. Convert to a decimal. I do hate the phrase decimal fraction. I do feel like either decimal or either fraction. Maybe that's just me, but decimal fraction. So convert 3/7 to a decimal fraction. Round your answer to 3 decimal places. So what it's really saying is turn this into a decimal. So 3/7 is the same as 3 divided by 7. The rule of this question is just testing very basic numeracy from a young age. You've been doing it for ages. It's just the way it's worded. I'll put a few in there. So 7 into 3, can't do it. 7 into 30, that's going to be 4, carry the 2. And again, 2, carry the 6. And 7, what would that be then? 7 times what's close to 67? 8s are 56. Carry the 4. And the 7 into 40 will be 7 5s are 35. I've done 4 places there because that's from 3 decimal places, so that's as far as I need to go. Now what I'm saying is, let's look at our rounding. So to 3 decimal places, there's my 1, 2, 3 decimal places. Do I have to round up? Find your place, look next door. 5 or greater, add 1 more. Yes, I do have to round up. It's going to be 0.429. Not a difficult question, really is just doing a division, but it's just getting around the language. So that just means I want this as a decimal. And 3 over 7 is the same as 3 divided by 7. Okay, so a nice little mark in there. And here we go, very similar to the pizza question, isn't it? They vote for a representative. So this is just one though, isn't it? We've got one whole, I've got 2 pizzas this time, we've just got one kind of, class. We've got 2/5 for one candidate. We've got 4/9 for the other candidate. Trying to find what is left in the pizza. So I have to add them together and make them the same so that I can compare them. So that's going to be the same as doing our smile and cross. 5 9s are 45. 9 times 2 is 18 and 20. So just like last time we're doing smile and a cross, smile times those two to get our common denominator. And then 9 times 2 for 18, 4 times 5 for 20. I'll add that together. So we've got 38 45ths. So what that means is this and this gives me 38 out of 45. So what's left over here? If there's 38 out of 45 in this bit, how many 45ths are left? It has to add up to 1. It has to add up to 45 over 45. So I've got 7 out of 45 left. These two numbers will have to add. Give me 45 over 45 would be 1. So you can see some fractions. Do your smile on across. You'll get some marks for just adding them together. And your last mark would be for answering the question. It's a great question. I'll go into this. I'll quickly do this one actually. I'll quickly do this one. So basically, getting them all into the same thing. Okay. So we should know it as a decimal. This is divided by 100, which means move the decimal 1 and 2. So that's 0.3838. So right away, I'm thinking, okay, 0.39. That's so far the highest, absolutely, and 0.388 is next highest, and then 0.3838 is the next highest. So that's those. How do I do 3/8? How do I get that as a decimal? Well, it's just 3 divided by 8. 3 divided by 0, carry the 3. That'll be 8, 16, 24. So 8's 24, that's times by 3. Carry the 6. 8 8s are 64, so it's going to be 7 times 8, which is 56. Carry the 4, and we'll get a 5 in there, 0.375. So that puts that one at the very bottom. So that's from high all the way down to low. So 2 things you had to know there. Divide this by 100 to get it into your decimal, and for this one, just do the sum, as we said before. So these can be a bit tricky, I think. Again, what you're thinking is you could write your times table down if you want. 8 times 3 is 24. 8 times 4 is 32. 8 times 5 is 4. You can write that down, and that'll help you when you're looking for these numbers. When you're looking for 30, you're like, well, it's the one below 30 I'm looking for, isn't it? So it's going to be a 3. Carry the 6. Do you know what I mean? So you could write your times table down if that helps you. Sometimes I tricky. And this one, I will quickly do this one. So I'll read the question, pause it. I'll just put the solution up because I'm running out of time. This is a good one. It's slightly different from before. Rather than do smile on a cross, we're going to find the lowest common multiple of these. Okay, so I've written out the times tables to the right there. And as we can see, the first number that pops up is 12. So I'm going to turn them into twelfths. So how do I get from 6 to 12? Well, I times it by 2. How do I get from 3 to 12? Times it by 4. And 4 to 12, I times it by 3. So I'm just taking this fraction and times the top and the bottom by that number. There you go, put them together for 9 12s, take that away from the whole to give you 3 12s.